Hey everyone! So this is going to be my second project for the September Elle Studio, and this time I'm going to do something a little different, I think, maybe. But I have these goofy photos of my husband and I taken in November, and we were stuck inside because of the California fires. But I mean, we were safe and we were happy and we had our home, so it kind of just made us appreciate life a little bit more. But we came up with all kinds of ways to entertain ourselves. This particular night, we just turned off all the lights, had a dance party with some glow sticks, and our kids decorated us. And I don't know why, but when I saw this Good Time stamps, I got an idea to just stamp this circle around the Traveler's Notebook page. So that's what I'm going to do. I have no idea how it's going to come out, but I'm excited to try it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start by stamping my background with those mandala, am I saying that right? I think I am, shapes, and I'm going to try to lay out my overall design. When I started this project, I thought I was going to do the photos horizontal and then maybe 2 journaling cards vertical. I'll quickly change everything to horizontal in just a little bit. I pulled out one of the blue papers from the Home Sweet Home, and I'm going to trim that down to 3x4, and then I also take a 4x6 card and I'm going to trim that down to 3x4. So now I have switched the design to everything horizontal, because in the end that just made more sense. It seemed, I don't know, kind of a goofy design to have 2 vertical, 2 horizontal. Since that 4x6, now 3x4 card had a little white space, I decided to use those awesome script words and put one of those on the white space. So now I'm going to get started on stamping my background. This isn't my first time stamping a Traveler's Notebook spread, like stamping it and making it my own, but it is certainly one of the things that I love doing now that I have discovered that I'm a stamper and I like stamping. So I am just going to stamp all over this paper towards the outside mainly, because I know that the middle is going to have all the photos. And I twist and I turn the stamp set to get different sides of it, and I turn the orientation of it, and I'm going to stamp in 2 colors of green ink, and then a blue, and then also a black. And then I'm going to use the bigger one, the bigger mandala shape. I'm going to use blue to stamp. And I think I already said this, but I just love how this mandala shape kind of reminded me of the circles in our goofy selfies. And also it was just a good way to have repetition in the overall design. A messy repetition. Goodness. Repetition. Lately, I just like getting messy with my stamping. And that's what I'm going to do here too. I took some of the circle labels and I'm going to do some repeat stamping and just cover the entire tag with love you. And I'm not worrying about it being straight or not straight. I'm going to do the same thing with this black label, and I am going to try to stagger the phrases. I think one of them is good times, so I'm going to stagger that. And then just stagger the rest of them. That way it doesn't look like it's all in the same spot. I think I've talked about that before on a Kelly Stamps project. I just like stamping to be staggered and have the phrase not sit the same way throughout a stamped pattern. So now I have my stamped background, and I'm going to start adhering the pieces down. But first, I remembered to check my holes. What I do is I hold it up to my lights, and I make sure that I'm not going to punch a hole in a face or a head or somewhere that's important. So that's kind of what I was doing when I pulled the paper away. There we go. Now I got that paper, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these circles and my die cuts and the other various pieces that I pulled out, and I am going to stack them along a diagonal. I've also probably done this type of design before for an Elle Studio project, but I don't mind repeating a design, especially a design I like. I did notice on those script words, I was having trouble getting the little tiny pieces out, and that's what I was doing. I used scissors to kind of poke it out, poke the A's and the P parts out. It sounds kind of funny, but that's what I had to do. And then I also put a little house there. Love those little house. And then I used a puffy sticker that said it's the little things. And I'm also going to cut out 2 of these labels, the September labels. I think I'm going to cut out thinking and watching. And those went perfect with my color schemes. And I am going to just mess around with the different arrangement of the labels, die cuts, and veneer, and just try to figure out where I want things. I swap out a die cut for the veneer that said let's stay in, because I thought that that would be a better fit. I also bust out a really old punch. I think it's an 1.5 inch scallop. I'm not necessarily a fan of the scallop, but I couldn't find my regular. But this one worked. It added a different texture and style. So I punched out 2 circles of the deep blue flowers and then 1 of the journaling card that was green. And later on, I'm going to write a little note. So for the messy circle label that I did, one of the reasons the messiness didn't matter is because I just put a heart in the center. So now it kind of looks like a patterned circle. It looks perfect. To me, it does. So I'm just writing on the thinking label, and I'm just going to talk about how we're very grateful that even though our air quality was awful, we were not involved in the fire. I'm going to put down let's stay in, and later on I will pop dot a die cut that says love this, and then a little cluster of an X, a heart, and a circle. There's the pop dot love this. Now I'm going to put down the thinking. And then I decide that I do need another label, so just in a little bit I will stamp that. And with this green scallop circle, I just wrote what we were doing. And then the watching label, I just talked about how we were watching our kids dance around and have the best time. So here's the 3rd label that I decided at the last minute that I needed for my design. Scrapbook tends to go in 3s, so I guess it makes sense that I needed a 3 on my label. So I'm just going to once again do some stamping and stagger the different phrases. And then that way I have 1 more piece to add to that section on the right hand side. Punch in my holes again, make sure I got everything where it's supposed to be. There we go. See, that's where I wanted to add it. And then I put a heart in the center, and then I will pop dot that one as well. Pop dotting adds movement and more dimension to my projects, and I think that they're one of the best things to have in your stash. So now this one I'm kind of like holding things in place because I want to make sure I get the watching in just the right spot, and then that way I can make sure I get the other pieces layered into the right spot. And then I have that big black circle, and I decided to put a puffy sticker and then something, a heart. And I'm just staggering the different pieces and building up my little notebook project. And then I'm going to put in some puffy stickers and some X's. Oh, that's the label. I put love this in the center. I decided to put love this and then just scoot over the other little puffy sticker that I had, because I felt like the black label needed something a little bit bigger than just one of the hearts. All right, so this one is finished. I really, really love this one too. I had so much fun building this and even getting out my super old punch just to give it a little bit more depth and have a different layer behind the circles. And I really like just how this layout came out. This is not what I was going for when I started with this layout. If you remember from the beginning, I said that I was just going to do horizontal and vertical, and I was going to stamp a bunch, but I love how this turned out. This turned out way better than I thought it was going to turn out, and as you can see, I almost used the whole sheet and like half the sheet of this, but that's okay. I had tons of fun, like I said, and I just love documenting these happy little moments. So I hope you enjoyed watching this process video. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.